Welcome to the Naked Peaches. I'm Anna.
I'm Taylor.
I am so excited to catch up today.
I know. I feel like for like 24 hours we've been like avoiding eye contact and trying not to talk too much so that we don't lose any juicy nuggets that should go on the pod.
I know. So Posse, I came back 2 days ago from vacation and I was working yesterday with Taylor all day, but we were like barely talking to each other. Like, we talked a little, but then we would start to talk and be like, wait, save this. Like we can't dive in. So it feels really good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're doing this in the morning because I don't know if I would have made it a whole nother day.
No, we have like so much to discuss.
Yeah. Okay, let me start with right before I left on my trip.
Yes.
So I got my brows done. Shout out Megan, friend of the pod. We love Megan.
Yes.
So I'm seeing Megan. I'm getting my brows done, vacation brows, and this story is killing me. So Megan is like just the sweetest person in the world, right? And so like we're chatting, whatever. She's like, so Anna, like I've been listening to the pod, like what's going on with your skin? And she's like, my face, you're doing my eyebrows. Yeah. And I'm like dying of laughter. And I'm like, yeah, like here's what's happening. Here's what I did. I stopped using my benzoyl peroxide because, long story short, when I was at my peak skin beauty, I had this really, really simple routine. And a couple months ago, I was like, okay, that really simple routine didn't include benzoyl peroxide. Let me just take this out. Like, I was really great then. I'm just going back to the same routine. I'm just going to do this. But I also, like, didn't account for the fact that I had a combo of, like, these new products I was trying recent, like, makeup products that I probably shouldn't have been trying that all at once while doing this. And then also, like, I was ending breastfeeding. So it's, like, my hormones are, like, different.
Yeah.
And I basically did all this all at once, which I shouldn't have done, and ended benzoyl peroxide. And so Megan and I are like talking about this, and she's just like, well, like maybe you should just like start your benzoyl peroxide again, like if that's like all it is. And it's like, she's like, was that working before? And I was like, well, yeah. And I was like, but this and this, and like I was like, but it was like my skin was so nice then. And she's like, okay, well, like what other like factors, and that's when I started talking about these other factors, and I'm like, oh shit, like maybe maybe all these other factors is like not a good idea to mix this all at once. And part of it too, like I was in Palm Springs at the time when it was like just very different climate, so it's like it's really
and all the
dry.
Sun, like I feel like it just like kills all the bacteria that's causing acne in your face.
Yes, she talked about that too. And so I got back on benzoyl peroxide. Thank you, Megan. And I feel like my skin is definitely getting better. It's like it's only been a couple weeks of being back on it, but it's like a lot less new acne is coming out and it's healing. So.
I feel like it looks smoother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you, Megan. So that's number one.
Megan is the big sister we all need.
Really, like as I was sitting there, I was like, this is like, and she's saying it like so nicely and so like, non-judgmentally and very just like trying to help. And I'm like, I feel like an idiot right now for like not just like kind of coming to this conclusion on my own. And like, I love you, Megan.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. So that happened. So then, get on the plane. Okay.
Yes.
I need to talk about the plane. So
tell me about the plane. Were there lots of people with their fucking socks off?
2 people went to the bathroom without their shoes on.
No.
Yes. I was seated near the bathroom, and so I was watching this. Just socks in the bathroom and late into the flight. And this is an international flight. So it's a long ass flight, 5-6 hours into the flight, and you're going to this bathroom with just socks on.
That's not okay.
No. And then the fact that you put those socks in your shoes. I can't. Oh, Posse, we don't have a guest this week.
Yeah, it's just us.
We're catching up. Okay, so that was disgusting. Also, flying with a baby. So we've flown with Sophia a good amount, but this is the first time where she's like fully walking, like she's like a toddler now. Yeah. She's living her best toddler life.
Was the last time you flew with her the time that she pooped all over the place and it was like you were like in the bathroom and the plane was landing and like it was like a really stressful situation?
Yes, that was the second to last time. Okay. That was awful. But this time, or the last time, she was like had just started walking but was like still holding on to stuff, and that was like a short trip to Arizona, so not that long of a flight. So this one was just like, she actually did pretty good, and she slept a lot. It was like fine, but like she touches everything, and she's like rolling around on the floor and like touching the floor, and like, you know me, I was just so disgusted. And then it's like you hold her, and then she's like standing on you, but like with her shoes that were just, it's just like, it's too much. And
she's getting all the bacteria from those people that went to the bathroom without their shoes on, and she's touching that, and then she's rubbing it on you.
Yes. And then she, it's like constantly has her hands in her mouth, and then back on the ground and in her mouth, and like, it was a lot. So that was like really took every ounce of me to survive that, but it gets worse. No. So, okay, we get on the plane, and a cool thing about when you travel with a baby is if you can get the like the front seat, basically, like in economy, but the front row of economy, and they can bring you this like little thing that basically goes into the wall where you can put the baby in to go to sleep, like a bassinet kind of thing.
Okay. Are they like in front of you?
Yeah, they're like right in front of you, and it's like nice because you have that extra leg room, because it's like right in front. So we always try to get those seats, and we got them, and we're sitting there, and the plane is like, you know, everyone's boarded, and we're like, oh my god, it's like 4 seats, and Gavin and I are sitting next to each other, and then there's no one next to us, and I'm like, this is incredible, because she's still like lap infant, right? So she's on our laps. I'm like, this is so perfect. And then like everyone's on the plane, people are kind of reshuffling, and like some guy from a few rows back came and sat in one of the seats. But I was like, okay, that's fine. Like we had 4, now it's like 3.
Yeah. And
like we still have that one extra space between us, and he was chilling. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then this woman comes and sits in that 3rd seat right there. And I'm like,
why? Why is she taking a middle seat?
Why? Yes. And the
For
guy
what?
asked her, he's like, why? And she was like, ugh. And later she like told me that she was sitting with another row of 4 people, and they were friends and like talking over her, but they didn't want to switch seats with her, and so she was getting annoyed, and so she came into our row. And I'm like, okay, but that's not my problem. Like, why did you come into our row? And it's like, we have the baby. Like, this would have been really nice to not. And she's just a chatty Cathy. Yes.
No, I cannot with people who want to talk on planes.
Same.
I cannot. I'm sorry if you, Posse, if you're that person, like, I support you, and I know there's people who want to talk to you, but it's not me.
Same. I don't want to talk to anybody. And it's like, I'm trying to deal with surviving this flight with my baby.
Yeah.
Like, I am really not well, and she's touching everything. So
yeah, it's
like,
not time to socialize and make friends.
And granted, like, she was really nice, and she was, like, engaging with Sophia, and, like, she was really sweet, and she had really good intentions, but I was just like, you're taking up space in my area right now. You're like talking to me nonstop. I'm trying to deal with everything else. It's too fucking much. And then she was like there for most of the flight. And then I guess sometime towards the end of the flight, the guy like left. Like he found like some other seat or something. And then she moved one seat over, like into where he was sitting, and was like, oh, like now there's space for Sophia. And I'm like, well, there was space for Sophia before you came.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I felt like I was in like almost like a reality show with like the characters around me.
Like you were in jury duty, but like the plane version.
Yes. And then the lady behind us, there's this like this is a Karen for sure. Karen is getting pissed because she is in the seat, and it's like the 4 seats, and her husband is next to her. He's in the aisle. She's the next one like in, and her seat and the seat next to her, there isn't a divider down on the ground where the legs go. Mm-hmm. And she's freaking out about the fact that there's like no divider there, and she needs a divider, and is like trying to get the flight attendant to like move her. And the flight attendant's like, where, like, this is what the structure of the plane is. Like, where can I move you that you're not going to have this? Because anywhere I move you and your husband, this is what there's no free seats that aren't this, you know?
Yeah.
And she's just like,
wait, what do you mean divider where the legs are? Like
on the ground, I guess. Like at the bottom of the seat, it's like 2 seats next to each other, and in the middle of the 2 seats, it's just open. Like, so it's like if you wanted to scoot your leg over into the other person's side, you could technically.
And she doesn't want her husband's leg touching
No, she doesn't want the person next to her.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But the person next to her is sitting right there, and it's like this other nice couple that's like not doing anything weird, but she's losing her goddamn mind over the fact that there isn't a divider.
Yeah, I hate her.
And it's like we're taking off, we're taking off, and she keeps flagging down the flight, and they're like, I will talk to you as soon as we get in the air. I need to like we are taking off. And she was just like, no, we need to fix this right now. Like so crazy.
Yeah, let me just get out my fucking hammer and chisel and reconstruct the plane for you while we're taking off.
Yes.
Oh my God. And these flight attendants like do not get paid enough to deal with these people.
No, and they were like, they're so sweet, you know, and they're like so like Gavin and I were just like, I wanted to like hide because I was so uncomfortable from everything going on around me. And granted, my lady that sat near me was like all up in my business. Like she had her thigh well into my area, you know, but like, it's like, okay, whatever. It's like, we're on the fucking plane. Like, and yeah, this woman was like not okay. She said, we need to urgently fix this. Is what she told the flight attendant. Urgently.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's so fucking cringe.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what I don't understand is like we've all seen these Karens out there in the world, like fucking shit up. But like I feel like I don't know anyone who does this kind of stuff. Actually, no, that's a lie. I do. I have some older family members who I think might do this. But like, I just, like, where do these people come from? And, like, how are they not embarrassed? Because, like, I feel like I'm embarrassed if I sneeze too loud on a plane. Like,
Yes.
I am so self-conscious, and to be just, like, making a scene and, like, making everything about you and not feeling any shame or embarrassment. Like, I truly don't understand that mindset. Like, what planet did you come from?
Yeah. No, I really don't either. Like, I also get very embarrassed on any social, like, it's like, I don't want to stand out in the social situation.
No.
Like, I just want to, like, chill in my fucking seat and, like, get to where I'm getting to. That was a fun flight.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What a nightmare. I mean,
Yeah.
it really is, like, traveling is, like, the best thing in the world, but you have to literally go through hell to get to your destination, especially living on the West Coast and going to Europe.
Yes. Yes. It's nuts.
Yeah.
So that was that. But, you know, we made it. We get there. Okay. My grandma loved the jewel.
Icon. Legend.
Loved the jewel. She was just, like, so in awe of this jewel, was, like, obsessed with it, thought it was the coolest thing, was, like, telling me the next time I come visit her to bring her a bunch more cartridges because she, like, loved it so much. And she also brought her electronic cigarette that, like, I told you about. And I saw these things all over Europe, and I've never seen this before. So what it is, it's, like, looks like a vape. But then you basically take what looks like a cigarette. It is a cigarette. It's just, like, it's almost like half a cigarette without any cartridge or anything. Mm-hmm. And then you put it into your like, vape thing, and then you're, like, smoking the cigarette like you normally would, but it's, like, the vape is, like, heating it. But no, like, vapors are going in the air. Like, I don't understand how these things work, but I saw them everywhere in Italy.
Are they flavored?
No.
Ew.
Or at least not the one she had. But she's a smoker. So
Did you try it?
No. I hate, like, the taste of cigarettes. I should have tried it, just to tell you.
Yeah.
But she liked the jewel more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're just invisible. Like, you can't see when somebody's, like, breathing it out.
No. Because she was like...
What? That's
or, like,
so
maybe
weird.
a little bit, but not, like, not anywhere near what, like, the jewel does.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm, like, so curious.
I know.
I have to go to Italy now so I can try it.
Right? And then you just, like, I guess throw away that little cigarette part at the end, and then you put the new one in.
Yeah. I mean, is it plastic, the little cigarette thing?
No, I think it's, like, a real cigarette. Because it gets smoked, I think. Like, it gets smaller.
I'm so confused.
Right?
I loved the photos of your grandma with her jewel.
Thank you.
She looked like she was living her best life.
She had a blast. She loved it. She was loving the jewel. She loved Rome. We had so much fun together. She was, like, loving Sophia. They're two BFFs. Aww. So it was really sweet. My grandma is the sweetest person in the world, and very, like, typical grandma, in the sense that, like, she has basically spent her whole life, like, in service to others, you know, and it's, like, so ingrained in her that she can't do anything, like, other than that.
Yeah.
But, like, almost to a fault, you know, where it's, like, we were together it was only, like, 3 days, so it was just the beginning of our trip in Rome that we were together, and then she went back home, and she was, like, it's, like, we would sit down, and she's, you know, immediately taking food off her plate to give it to me, even though, like, I've ordered food, and she was just like, no, like, you need more, and I'm like, I'm eating I'm not, like, I'm fine, like, you know, and, like, doing that with, like, Sophia, with Gavin, with just, like, everything that's, like, you know, like, just constantly, like, Sophia eats one thing, and she's, like, immediately wiping her face, and I'm like, grandma, she can have, like, 3-4 bites before she, like, needs to be wiped, like, it's just, like, cannot sit and, like, eat her own meal, or, like, do anything, like, needs to, like, constantly, like, help.
Yeah. And
then she's, like, getting on me for, like, one morning, Sophia woke up, we, like, changed her diaper, I'm, like, right about to put new clothes on her, and I, like, hand her to my grandma to go dig in the suitcase, and my grandma, I come back maybe not even a minute later, and my grandma has her wrapped in a blanket. It's like she's gonna freeze.
Oh my God. Yeah, and you're in Italy in the summer.
And I was like, I told you I was coming back with clothes, and she's like, the baby's naked, like, the baby's gonna die.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was a lot. She was also really worried about, like, Gavin was, like, hurt his back, like, picking up one of the bags or something, and she was just, like, so concerned that, like, Gavin was gonna, like, just die or, like, just be unwell.
Throw his back out? Was she trying to carry the bags instead?
Yes. Like, she was trying to carry bags. She was just, like, so worried, and I was like, I'm laughing at him, and granted, maybe I should, like, be, like, nicer, but I'm like, he's fine, like, it's fine. And she's just like, Gavin's not gonna be okay, like, just this, like, next level of, like, worrying about everything, and I'm like, Gavin's fine, like, Gavin's gonna deal with it, I'll carry stuff, like, so.
It sounds exhausting.
Yeah, it was, like, I love her to death, but I'm, like, very much, like, we'd like sit down and it's just this constant like you're gonna starve the baby, you're gonna freeze the baby, you're gonna do this like just
yeah. I feel like that is a very grandma thing of like, you know, the baby is not gonna be okay unless I have my eyes on her at all times.
Yes. Yeah. So that was really sweet. Then we went to the Amalfi Coast.
Tell me about the Amalfi Coast.
Yeah, really overrated for the most part, I would say. Like, so this was like a family trip we went on because it's Gavin's parents, well, his mom and his stepdad 25-year wedding anniversary, and they wanted to do a family trip in Italy, and they wanted to go to the Amalfi Coast. So,
hey, if my parents are listening, please take note.
It was beautiful. I'm not bummed that I saw or anything like that. Yeah. Like, I had a great time there. It was like really fun to see it. But it's just so packed, so touristy. And we like went in May, because they wanted to like, they're like, oh, like let's go before like tourist season really picks up, like whatever. But it was already just packed, like people everywhere. It's like really hard to get around a lot of places because it's like so busy.
And it's very hilly, right?
Super hilly. Like you kind of like go from like, so I don't really know this, but like the Amalfi Coast is like, it's multiple towns that make up the Amalfi Coast. You can go from like town to town and explore the different towns. So, like Amalfi is one town, but there's like a ton of other towns. And like it's easy to just take like the ferry from town to town. There's a bus too, but the bus is like just gets super packed and then they like won't let more people on. And then there's like taxis, but they're like really expensive.
Is Positano one of the towns in the Amalfi Coast?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like a really short ferry ride from Amalfi basically. And we stayed in Amalfi. And where we stayed, it was like this big villa, so we were like this big group, and it wasn't that far out of town. And it was along like the one main like 2-lane road basically that just like goes from town to town along the coast. And it was just up there. It was really close to basically like the first bus stop out of town. So like distance wise, not far. Like you could walk it, but it's like that road is just like a tiny 2-lane road with no sidewalk. So it's like you don't want to walk it. Yeah. And like you will probably get like hit by a bus kind of thing if you do. So we would like have to take a taxi or a bus to get into town every day. But it's like the buses are always packed. Taxis like would do it, but it's like they're charging you anywhere between like $50 to $80 to like take you just I
How long of a drive?
Like you're in the taxi for 5 minutes. Like it's
what?
Yeah, like it's so like. And the thing is, these taxi drivers there are fucking hustlers because there's no meter on the taxi that tells like
not.
No, there's no nothing that is like counting there. You just are like, hey, I need to go here. How much? And they're like, vibes, $80. Like
yeah, no meter, just vibes.
No meter, just vibes. Like it was just so crazy to me how like. But it's like they can because it's so packed and so touristy and people don't have other options and it's like so they're gonna pay it.
Yeah, the demand is there.
We were in the bus line going from Positano back to Amalfi because we went there 2 days. One of the days we took a ferry. One of the days the dock was like being worked on, so we took the bus. And we actually lucked out because here's what I'll say: traveling with a baby does have its challenges, but also has a ton of benefits because people are so nice to you when you have a baby. Like in the airports, they're like, you get to go through the family lanes, like you get to like cut in lines. Like when we went to the Vatican, apparently the Vatican's like obsessed with babies, which I mean they're Catholic, so I guess that makes sense. And so babies are free. Babies are like, there was a 2-hour line, and they're like, no, like you go to the front. And like me, Gavin, and my grandma and Sophia like went to the front, and like it was probably honestly more than a 2-hour line. Like I walked past so many people in this fucking line. And they're like, no, like you have the baby, like you're going in.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, everyone, have a baby so you can travel easier.
I mean, it's like in Europe, like they just fucking love babies. Like Spain was like this last year. Italy, like they're just like, people are so like, we're just walking down the street. Everybody is just like, oh, Bella, Kate Bella, just like wanting to talk to her and like laugh at her. And then
That's
she's
so
like,
cute.
She waves at everyone. It's like her favorite thing. So it's like they just melt and die. And it's like, anyone, like young, old, like women, men, like it's like old men like are seeing her and are like men that like here, if you ever talk to my baby, I would immediately like file like a
restraining order.
But it's like they're like so sweet, you know, and it's like it was really nice. So like
I love that. That's why they have better maternity leave because they actually care about children.
They actually care, yes. So the nice part was like these buses are so packed and it's like they are not letting people on, but it's like they see me, Gavin, and Sophie at a bus stop and then they're like, okay, the baby, like, and they let us on. But we were taking the bus back to from Positano to Amalfi, And the buses are not going very, like, it's like maybe like 1 an hour kind of thing. It's not like super often. And the line is long. So the first bus comes, like, people get on, but then it's like not everybody gets on, so we're waiting again. So these taxis are going, we're in this long line. They pull up and they're like, Amalfi, and they're like, people are like, yes, like let me in the taxi, and it's like $100 a person.
Oh my god!
And these like the large Sprinter van taxis, like they're fitting 8-9 people in there, and I'm like,
they're making like $1,000 in 5 minutes.
And people are literally like fighting other people to get into them because it's that fucking hard to get. Like you can't walk from town to town, even though they're so close to each other, because it's just like one treacherous road, or you're doing 100,000 stairs. Yeah, dude, it's fucking nuts. Like, and the ferries are great, and they come often too. Getting around is really hard there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Okay, so like, what about restaurants? Like, did you have to wait a really long time every time you wanted to eat too?
So we had reservations at a few places a few times. Other places it was fine. Like, it wasn't that, like, there's some places that for sure, like, you have to get your reservation. They get super booked out, whatever. But it's like, you could walk past places and kind of like, especially if you just go a little bit further into the town, you're not like right at the front where it's like all the tourists are just going to get off the boat and go eat kind of thing. Then it's like, you could get in. So we like had a pretty easy time getting in places. And like our group was kind of big. So it's like, we would split up sometimes and then just like go do that. But it was okay. But I think if there's certain really hot spots you want to go to, then you have to like book that really far in advance.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. This is really good to know. I will not be going to the Amalfi Coast if I go to Italy.
Yeah. I mean, we went to like, so we did the Amalfi Coast, and then there's like the islands too. So like everybody goes to Capri because that's like part of it. We didn't go there, even though it seemed really amazing. And like, I would love to go do like a little day trip there sometime, but we did go to Ischia, which is this other island that like isn't as famous as Capri, and not that many people go there. And that was like really beautiful, not crowded at all. Like, I just don't think very many people know about it or go there. And so I like saw it originally on like TikTok and like just doing some Googling, and it was super like really nice, really empty, really just like peaceful. Like, if you're on the Amalfi Coast, I would recommend going there for a little bit. When Stanley Tucci did his Searching for Italy, he went there to like one of the restaurants, and so he talked about it a little bit, but it just like, I guess, hasn't really picked up steam with like a ton of American tourists.
Okay. So, we love that. I mean, it's only a matter of time, but
I know.
for now, that's the place to
go. Go to Ischia. It was really great.
And if you've read My Brilliant Friend, that is the island that the girls go to in the book to spend their summer, which I loved that whole series. And like, like a bunch of really important things happen there, and like the way she writes about it, it's like so romantic and beautiful. So like, I already feel like so like sentimental towards this place that I've never been to.
Okay. I love that. No, it was really cool. And it's like a bigger island. So we only did a couple days there, and I wish we would have done more. Like, going back, I would have fixed our schedule to spend more time there. But like, we only really stayed in like two kind of parts of like the island, and like, there's so much more of the island that we didn't get to explore, and like a lot of other like mini towns on the island. And like, I think you could easily do a whole summer there.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
What other places did you go to? Any other like towns?
Okay. Just Rome, Amalfi Coast, like all the little towns there, and then Ischia at the end, and then back to Rome for one more night before we flew back. But the TikTok I posted where we did all those like thousands of stairs. Yeah. We went up to this town called Ravello. So beautiful. It's basically right up above. It's on the Amalfi Coast, but like just above. So you're like in the mountains, but you're overlooking the whole coast and like everything. That town was amazing. So beautiful. I wish we had more time to be there, but it was like way less touristy, I think, because it's higher. So it's like not that many people are going up there. Really great food. Just so pretty. 1,000 weddings were happening. And I guess it's like wedding central. Like, we met this local woman who was saying that she was from there, and like weddings are constantly happening there. So like, we need to go do like boudoir shoots there or something.
Oh my God, the dream.
Dude, I tried reaching out to Alex Earl because she was in Positano while I was there, but she never responded. Oh. And neither did her management team.
Did you get any DMs or like comments from people who actually were like around and available?
No, I just got DMs from people who like were in Europe, but like, they're like, I'm not there right now, but like, I wish I was. Like, I want to like shoot, like blah, blah, blah. But yeah, no one that was actually there. So the algorithm didn't push out to enough people that were currently on
so frustrating.
Dude, it was like so insane how stunning this villa was, and like to not be able to shoot any boudoir there was like
tragedy.
Like, I'm not okay about it. Like, you saw the video I made with all those beautiful locations.
Yeah, I was like, I literally wish I was here right now. We could take pictures of each other.
I know. And no one in my family would pose for me. No one was like ready to do boudoir. I know.
So frustrating.
At one point I was like, maybe I should try to figure out how to do like self-portraits.
Yeah. But
then I was like, this is going to take so long to figure it out. And like, I don't have the time for this right now.
Yeah.
But
one of the great regrets of your life. I feel like this is going to be a moment you remember forever.
No, it will be. It will be. And even like in Ischia, like there was so many beautiful places there too where I was like, fuck, dude. Like, I don't know. I need to really game plan this better the next time I go on vacation because it's like the missed content that could have been, like the photos that could have been really just kill me.
I know. Well, I feel like I see a lot of photographers just like post on their story like, hey, I'm going to be in X city on these dates, like DM if you want to shoot. And like, I feel like it must work because I see people doing it a lot. So I think like from now on when we travel, we just need to give people a heads up so that like whoever's following us can reach out, or they can reach out to their friend that lives in that town or whatever and like try and hook us up so that there's like, you know, always at least one shoot. But
yes. And I should probably do it like the second I book the ticket.
Yeah.
So it's like really far in advance. Let people know.
Yeah, I think so. Which we need to do that for our trip to LA in August.
Oh my God. Yeah, Posse. Anyone? August?
Yeah, we're going to be there August. Well, the 11th is the day that we'll be free to shoot. So if anybody is going to be in LA on August 11th and wants to shoot with us, send us a DM.
Okay, what else do I have here about my notes? Hold on. Just traveling with the baby in general. The beach is just a lot better without a baby. Like, like I love her to death, and like I had fun. It was a good trip, like whatever. But it's like, yeah, she puts everything in her mouth. She was like trying to eat fistfuls of sand. Like I want to sit and read a book and tan.
Yeah,
and like you just can't do that when your baby is like trying to be a crazy person. And like then the rocks. So like we went to the rockier part of the beach one day, and that was actually better because then it's like if she's trying to eat a rock, I can at least like slap it out of her hand or like pull it out, and it's like easier than like a ton of sand.
Yeah,
you know?
Sand is like dissolving as soon as it gets in her mouth.
Yeah, sand is the worst. So I wouldn't say it was a very like relaxing beach experience. And then it's like I just want to like work on my tan, but it you know, it doesn't really work that way. And I'm also trying to keep her like shaded and then like not touching like the burning hot sand in the middle. You know, it's like there's parts of it that would be better without a baby on the beach.
Do you think if you go on a trip like this again, like if you guys want to go to Europe again, do you think you'd bring her, or do you think you'd try and find like get one of your parents to like watch her so you can go on a trip just the two of you?
I think I'll bring her because like I do like traveling with her, but like maybe I'll like bring my grandma too, like the whole time, and then just like
you know grandma's not gonna let her eat sand.
No, and grandma like is obsessed with her, so it's like maybe just like bring grandma and have grandma like help with more stuff.
Yes,
and like leave for like a few hours because we didn't really get any time. Like we only had sex one time our whole
really
vacation. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's because like we were so fucking exhausted because we're just trying to deal with this baby all day, and like I think also it's like she's 1, right? Yeah. So it's like when she's 3, it's like we can have a fun beach day. She's not gonna be eating sand, you know. It's like there's things like that where like it's gonna get a lot easier, I think, in a couple years.
Yeah.
But it was just like this age in particular was like when we went to Spain last year, she was 4 months old, and it was perfect. Like she slept all the time. She wasn't moving at all. She couldn't even roll over. Like
she's just a blob.
Yeah. So she's just chilling, and then it's like she was just laying on the beach chair and like whatever.
Yeah.
And we were doing all the things we wanted to do. And then I think this trip we like kind of thought it'd be the same, even though it's like not. But yeah, but it's like every day we're like so exhausted, and so we just like weren't able to like have sex. Like,
oh, I'm sorry. I'm glad you did it at least once.
We did, yeah, and it was really good the one time we did. Great. So it's like that's nice, you know. But yeah, it was a lot more tiring than I anticipated.
Less of a like true vacation.
Yes, more of just like a trip together.
Yeah, but
like she's at least like a good traveler. It was like really fun, and it's like doing the things with her. It's like it's a good time, and she's like a good sport about it, and it wasn't like bad. It's just like you're just always on. So it's like I didn't really feel like it was necessarily like restful per se.
Totally, yeah. I mean, you're just like you're still having to like watch her and like keep her safe and pay attention to what she's doing at all times. You can't like turn your brain off.
Yes, yeah. But she loved the gelato, though.
Really?
We all did. She tried gelato for the first time. She was obsessed.
Was it the best gelato you've ever had?
Yeah, really. I mean, every time I go to Europe, it's like just such good gelato.
The food, just all the food is so much better.
Okay, so we did in Rome. We did this food like this local. Like a local tour guide basically takes you to like some restaurants and like you.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, you like he talks about the food and you're like trying these cool things. And he gave us some gelato tips at the end that were actually really helpful, and we like used them the rest of our trip. But he's like, okay, when you go to gelato shops, if you know the ones where it's like they're just packed really high, like the gelato is like these huge mounds of it,
and they've got like all the like mint leaves on top.
Yes,
and stuff
yeah,
like that, yeah.
And he's like, if you're seeing gelato that's packed like really high like that, it's basically just whipped with air to like get it to be like that frothy and like big and like whatever. And he's like, it's just done for like show, like it's not doing anything to the gelato, it's not like better or like it's just trying to like look more attractive. And he's like, so like it's probably more for like tourists or just, you know, like not that good of gelato. Also, like when you are looking at the gelato, if things are like, if you're looking at pistachio gelato and it's green, or like banana and it's super yellow, then it just means that it's like added food coloring. It's not, because it's like pistachios aren't, they're like brown, they're brown, like it should be a brown, and like banana should be white pretty much. Like it's like, pay attention to the colors, because if they're super colorful, it's not like good gelato. It's like shit gelato. Yeah.
So interesting.
Right? So we use those tips a lot, and we ate great gelato.
So is most of the gelato just kind of like a brown color when you're going to the places that are actually good?
If it's like pistachio, like it's like obviously it's like a little hint of green, but it's mostly like a more of a brown green. It's like if you're like seeing something that's like a more like minty colored green, like that is not probably a good pistachio.
Yeah. These are really good tips.
Really good tips.
Not that I feel like I'm going to be able to apply them here, but you know, for anybody in the posse that's going to Europe.
Yes. The next time you go to Europe, you know, apply these. We applied them all over the place. We had like just amazing food. Sophia was like housing plates of prosciutto, just like shoveling it into her mouth. She was crazy. There was one night where we ordered her like a plate of like gnocchi. I'm not like Italian, but she literally ate an entire entree size plate. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's a big kid now.
I know. And then she like passed out immediately because she was food coma.
What was the best thing you ate while you were there?
Oh my God. Okay. So the very last night in Amalfi, and this is the one thing, I will make a TikTok about this. Every single person, like this was the peak of my Amalfi experience.
Okay.
So when we were going to Italy, I was like, I really want to go to like an olive farm and like taste olive oil, like eat olives. Like I love olives, and it was like my whole thing. And then we go to the Amalfi Coast, and like the more I was reading, they do have olive farms there, but it's mostly lemon farms. That's like the whole thing with the Amalfi Coast, like the lemons. And so I was like, okay, like maybe I should go like try to see a lemon farm. And I kind of kept like putting it off, and then things would get like booked. And then the last day I was like, shit, like I need to like actually like book this. So I had seen this thing. It was like Amalfi like lemon experience. I think I'll link it. But there was like a few things all over town of like signs of it. And I was like, okay, either their marketing is great, or it's like literally just gonna be a tourist trap. But it was like, you know, come to our like lemon farm. It's like our family's lemon farm, and then you also like can do lunch. You can just do a tour, whatever. So I booked the tour and lunch, and me, Gavin, and our family friend that was on the trip, and Sophia like went on this thing. So you go in the morning, and you like we basically walked up through the village, and it was nice because it's like you get further and further into Amalfi, and it's like less and less touristy because it's like just further away and up, and like it was really pretty. So we get all the way up there, and it's like we start to do a tour of the lemon farm. It's this farm that's been in their family for like 6 generations. The first thing, like the guy who's the current owner of it, he's like, listen, like we're here, like we might not be here in 10 years though. Like he's like, I'm gonna be honest with all of you, like, you know, global warming is like really impacting our farm and our lemons. Like we have like a worker shortage here. A lot of our workers come from Ukraine now, and like there's a lot of stuff happening with Ukraine, obviously. And he's just like really was just like truth bombs. Like, like we like walked up, and like this is the first thing he's talking about, and he's like we're really proud of this. Like we don't like, you know, we've had this in our family forever. We don't spray our things with like pesticides. We like tend to everything by hand. Like it's we don't really use machinery. We don't, you know, it's like all these things that like, this is our farm, this is our experience, like this is what we do. But it's like, you know, it just might not last for that much longer. Like we don't really know. We have a lot of challenges basically. And he's like, okay, so like come start the tour. We're like, okay, like we really just like dived in. Okay, let's go. So you start with like their little like family museum basically, where it's like this whole almost like a barn, and there's all these old like tools and photos of like the farm over the years, and all these like really cool things that you're seeing. And she's explaining like how they used to tend to the lemons. She like shows these basically really large like wicker baskets, and I guess it was like that's what they would use to carry all the lemons down to the water, and like, you know, put them on boats to export them. And like she was saying how it was like that was like the women would do that job, and like they're heavy ass like, you know, things of like lemons that they're like carrying on their head down 1,000 stairs every day, and then going like back and forth to like, you know. export these
lemons.
lemons.
Sounds like something out of like a fairy tale.
It's like a fairy tale, but also like really intense like labor, you know?
Yeah.
And it's
like the before part of the fairy tale.
Yes.
Before the prince comes.
Yes. So like really like that was like wild, and you're like seeing it and they like have examples of it. And then you start to like walk into their lemon farm and they're talking about just like the lemons. Like I like learned so much about lemons. But like we did lunch after the tour was over, and it was this like multi-course lunch where they keep bringing out all this amazing food, and it was the best food I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Did they have lemons and everything?
Yes.
Wow.
So they had like a lemon cake. We had this other lemon, I don't even know how to explain this lemon dessert, but it was like almost like this pastry that was like filled with like a lemon cream kind of thing. We had this lemon pasta that was so good. It was almost like lemon, butter, salt, pepper, like just yes, to die for. Yeah. There was like eggplant parmesan that came. There was more. I like, it was just, everything was so good. And then at the end they like give you a little espresso with like a little lemon rind in the espresso, which was delicious. They were obsessed with Sophia. The owner was like, he's like, you can leave her here for a year, like come back and get her next year, like I'll give her my lemon farm. Like it's just so sweet. It was like,
oh my God.
Brought his wife over to like have his wife come look at Sophia, and it was, like gave her this little like lemon toy to,
oh my God, so cute.
So cute. Yeah, they're just, it was like the highlight of my, like the food we ate, just getting to like see what their family has like done over the years. If I had done that the very first day of my trip, I probably would have booked it every day of the trip and just kept going back. Like it was so good. And you're just in this like gorgeous lemon farm eating this like amazing lunch with the view of all the lemon terraces.
Oh my God. Yeah, I need to see like the videos and pictures after this.
I know. I will show you, and I'll make a full TikTok detailing the entire experience.
This sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And like so like romantic, and like also like I remember there's one of our clients who's in like diehard Posse, like listens to the podcast. I remember her saying that when she went to Italy, she thought it was so cool how there were like so many family businesses where like the family like passes down the knowledge to the next person, and then it evolves with each generation. And like I feel like that's just like such a cool thing that we don't really see very much here, except for with like, you know, fucking the Murdoch family, like, you know, really these diabolical like evil succession type things. Yes. But, like, you don't see it a lot with, like, small businesses. And I just feel like it's such a cool thing. So we need to start training Sophia to be a photographer now so that we can do this.
She will, yeah. Sophia is going to, she's going to join the family biz.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And it's, like, you know, they talk, too, about how, like, they've been lucky to kind of be able to do this because now it's, like, and we hear this story here, too, where, like, a lot of, like, of the younger Italian generation, like, they do have all these family businesses, but they don't want to work in those family business anymore. Like they want to like go to the city or like do other jobs, and so it's like a lot of family businesses are having a hard time staying family businesses because they just don't have like the family to keep doing it basically, or the younger people just don't want to. And so it's like, it is, it's like really sweet, but it also like maybe in like, you know, 60 like 100 years it's like not really going to be a thing like it is now, you know.
Totally. Yeah. This is so nice because at this point, I'm, like, glad that I haven't gone to Italy yet, because I feel like now I can learn from everyone else who's gone that I know, and, like, have the best trip ever, because I have all the travel tips now.
Rome was great. I loved Rome. I could have spent even more time in Rome, but it's, like, restaurants are amazing. Like, obviously all the attractions are, like, you know, going to see Colosseum was just, like, nuts. You feel like you're, like, jumped into a history book, basically. Like, so cool. There's a lot of Italy I want to explore, and like obviously like we've talked about this, like Venice is really touristy, but like I've been wanting to see Venice since I was like 12. So. Exactly,
it's like one of those places where it's like you know it's going to be so crowded, but you have to see it in your lifetime.
Yeah, and even seeing like the
Sistine Chapel.
Yes, sorry, that was like really nuts too.
Just, oh my God, wow. I bet. Yeah. Did it remind you of our shoot with Bentley and Victoria?
Yeah, it did. It was just like wow. You're just like standing there like staring at it, and you're like, I can't believe this is like in front of my face right now. Yeah. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is just back to planes really quick, because on the plane ride back, I was typing all these notes that I was like, didn't really have to deal with the crazy people. But like, okay, first of all, planes and babies and like changing your baby on a plane is like, it was not designed by anyone who has ever changed a baby on a plane. I will say that. This designer has never changed a baby because it's like, it's so small. it is on a lot of the planes lately, for some reason, the thing, like, the little thing comes down the table where you change them on, and then you put the baby on it, and then there's, like, things in the wall where it's, like, tissue, whatever, but it's, like, right by it, so it's, like, what do you think happens? You
the
lay
baby
the baby down.
pulls it out.
Everything.
Yeah.
All over the bathroom, all over her, all over. It's just, like, okay, like, why is it designed to be right here? Like, of course, any baby is going to pull this stuff down, you know?
Yeah.
And it's, like, it is just so bad how it's, like, I just don't understand why it can't be, like, it can be better, you know, but they're just, like, not thinking about it. And
have we ever talked about the book Invisible Women?
No, tell me about it.
Okay, so it's this book that I read maybe a year or so ago that is so fascinating because it talks about how, like, the main point of the book is that the world is, you know, like a little over 50% women. Mm-hmm. It's like 51% or something like that. But, like, the vast majority of everything we use in everyday life is designed by men or designed for men. And, like, men are seen as, like, the default person. And so, like, in car crash test dummies are designed after men's bodies. The BMI scale designed after a man's body. I mean, BMI is bullshit. But, like, things like that, like, very commonly used things, they literally don't make crash test dummies of women's bodies. For cars.
Of course not.
And, like, life jackets are designed for male bodies. So, because boobs are, like, you know, only something you have if you're, like, a woman, and that's, like, an extra category. It's not like there's this mindset that, like, male is the default and female is the exception. And, like, when it's really, like, much closer to 50-50.
Yeah.
And it's just really crazy when you see it all broken down in this book of, like, all the different things, like, even down to, like, the way public restrooms are designed and, like, why there's always, like, a backlog of people waiting to get into the women's restroom, and, like, the number of public restrooms in a city is correlated, or, like, the how close they are together is correlated to, like, the amount of, like, rapes that happen in that city, because, like, if you have to walk really far to find a public bathroom, like, you're exposed for a longer period of time. You're, like, having to, like, you know, you say you're, like, walking home and you, like, really need to go to the bathroom on your way home from work or whatever. But if you have to go out of your way, like, you're like, putting yourself more at risk, basically. So, like, the more public restrooms there are, the safer a city is. And, like, it's just, like, it's crazy when you read this book. Like, I feel like I wish I had it more fresh in my mind of, like, how many things there are. But, like, it will make you so angry, and it also blow your mind because there's things that we're aware of. Like, obviously, any mom who's changed a baby in a fucking bathroom knows that these, like, changing rooms are horribly designed, and they're probably designed by men who mostly haven't changed babies.
Yeah.
But there's other things, too, that we don't even think about that, like, once you, like, see it all listed out, you're like, this is bullshit.
Oh my God.
Like, it's such a good book, though.
Okay, I'm going to read it.
Yeah. I listened to it, and it was a quick listen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Well, I'm excited, but also, like, terrified.
Yeah. But that just reminded me of that, because it's like, if these were designed by, you know, I mean, I hate to say that, like, moms are the ones changing babies, but the reality is that, like, mostly moms are changing babies.
Yeah.
And,
or just, like, or maybe even, like, a dad designer who has a small baby. Like, have him be the one that does, if you, like, really want a man to design it, you know, like, whatever. But,
like, a lot of people have kids. Like, consult one of them when you're making this fucking design.
Yes. It's so bad. Well, and even, like, all over Rome, it was really hard to find places to change the baby. Like, there wasn't, like, a lot of the bathrooms are really tiny, so you can't really do it in the bathroom, but there also, like, wasn't that many, like, public benches, or, like, I was actually really surprised, because Spain...
Did you see other people doing it, like, out in the street?
Not really. Like, I guess, like, there was some places where we go where there would be, like, a changing table or something, but for the most part, I was, like, trying to find, like, benches or, like, just something to, like, set her on to do it, and, like, it felt like in Spain, there was usually some kind of baby changing table everywhere, or there was benches everywhere, just, like, something that was, like, really easy. But in Rome, it was just a lot harder to change her. I don't know, it was interesting, especially for a country that's so baby focused and so Catholic, and so, you know, it's like, I just assumed there'd be more places to change the baby.
Yeah, that is weird. I wonder if it's because Rome is such a tourist city, and like, most of the tourists in Rome are not bringing babies. That's just a guess. I don't actually know that.
But, I don't know either.
Like, weird.
Yeah, super weird. But anyway, the planes need to get it together with the changing, because it's, like, honestly awful. And then I have an idea that I think planes should take out like 6 seats, okay? Just like on a plane, fucking pad it up, and anyone that's flying with a baby, just go set your baby there. And like, during the flight, the babies can all like roll around together, play on each other, do whatever, but they're not like sitting and constrained to your seat.
That's a great idea.
Like a playpen, basically, on the plane.
Yes, and honestly, we'd probably have so much fewer crying babies on planes if that was a thing.
Yeah. Because we lucked out on the way back. Like, there was a family next to us and one right behind us, and they had kids that were, like, kind of around Sophia's age. And at one point, we just kind of had them all, like, they were just, like, walking around next to each other, like, playing together, and they were, like, super chill. And it was fine. It was, like, so great. And I'm like, we just need a fucking playpen, set them all in there, and then the rest of us can just watch movies and relax while these babies just, like, are entertaining themselves. Like, So, I don't know. I think planes will obviously never do it because, you know, whatever. But, like, I would pay more for that service if they had that.
I bet a lot of people would. Yeah. Just for, like, the peace of mind.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, maybe this is why we need more women in STEM so they can be engineering this shit. But, like, there's so many opportunities to, like, make things better like this. And people will pay more for it.
1,000%. Also, the last thing I had is, like, I noticed on this trip, like, in general on planes, women are so much, like, nicer and better and, like, whatever than, like, men. And even, like, not like in a shitty way, but just, like, Sophia would be, like, okay, like, during that takeoff landing, whatever, she's, like, freaking out. She's, like, strapped in or, like, and, like I said, for the most part, it was pretty fine. Like, she had moments where she was, like, unwell, especially, like, right before she's trying to nap or whatever. But for the most part, she's fine. But it's, like, there's, you know, there was, like, these 2 women on, like, across the aisle, and they, at one point when she was freaking out, was it, like, one of them was just, like, making funny faces at her and, like, you know, smiling at her and, like, waving, and, like, the second she saw that, she was immediately just, like, you know, she was entertained by it, she started waving back, she calmed down, like, just very helpful in these small ways where it's, like, you don't, like, she was just a stranger, like, doing that out of the nicest of her heart. It's, like, later was, like, she's, like, oh, I'm a grandma, like, whatever, you know, but, like, so helpful. But it's shit like that where, like, men don't really do that ever. Like, it's, like, so many women I noticed on the plane would do little things like that where they would just, like, have some kind of small interaction with her, and I'm just, like, why are the men not like this? Like, why are the men not doing, like, anything? And it's, like, one man, like, next to us, and Sophia's, like, actively waving at him, and he's just, like, looking straight ahead.
What? Yeah. Oh, my God.
It was so weird.
I mean, Sophia is literally the cutest baby. And, like, how can you not wave back at a baby when they wave at you?
I know, right? It's like, and obviously not, like, all men, like, and there was some that were, like, you know, like, if they're walking down the aisle and she waves them, they, like, wave back or they, like, smile or stuff. But it's, like, it was just so interesting to see these, like, women who are, like, truly going, like, out of their way to just, like, distract her, like, do something to, like, help her, like, be chill. And then she immediately is, like, super into it, you know? And it's, like, women are just better.
Well, and they, like, probably a lot of them can empathize with what you're going through. Yeah. And a lot of the men just see it as, like, an annoyance. Yeah. Because they're not the ones responsible for childcare most of the time. Yeah. In their personal lives.
Yes, exactly.
Man, wow, this is, like, really interesting. I feel like this has turned into, like, a feminist discussion of travel, and I love that.
Yes, I love it too. But I do think that overall more people should be flying with babies and going on trips with babies, because it's, like, there's obviously like I said, there are hard parts of it. Like, I wish it could have been more restful, whatever, but for the most part, it really isn't that bad. And I think it's, like, one of those things where the baby is gonna, like, whatever their life experience is like whatever you're building the life experience to be, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, yes, like, you know, we dealt with jet lag, we dealt with, like, some hard stuff, but at the end of the day, like, she's either going to be, like, chilling in our house here and going to daycare, or, like, you know, walking around with us, like, in the Coliseum. And it's just, like, she's going to have fun either way. She's a baby, you know? And so it's, like, I think more people should just do it.
Totally. I mean, I feel like just watching the way you guys are raising her has, like, really inspired me, because I definitely, like, I think a lot of us have this mindset that, like, okay, when you have your baby, like, this exciting part of your life is kind of over, and you move into just parenting hermit mode. And, like, so to see you guys, like, continuing to live your lives the way you want to and travel with her, like, makes me feel like I can do that too when I have a kid. And I feel like it's just nice to see someone else doing it, and that it's possible. And it's not like you have a nanny with you, like, you know, obviously that'd be nice, but, like, you can do it without one, you know?
Yeah. No, that makes me happy. You definitely can. And it's like I said, when we went when she was 4 months old, that was honestly so easy. Like, I think everybody should be traveling with a 4-month-old. Like, go on a really big, long trip somewhere with your 4-month-old because, like, they will just sleep. They're going to hang out on your lap. They're going to, like, it's just so, so simple. And I think it's a good, like, step into it because, like I said, this one was harder, but it's, like, we had that one kind of as, like, a practice round, and it was an easy practice round, and then this was, like, a little bit harder, and then I think some things will get easier as she gets older, and, like, you know, I'm even watching these other kids on the plane who are, like, sitting there watching their, like, tablet for, you know, 10 hours, and they're, like, 7 or 8, you know, and I'm like, okay, like, this is going to be so easy in a few years, you know, it's, like, once that's happening, but it can be intimidating, but also it's, like, we're like walking around Italy, and I'm like just like watching some of these other families and like their kids and like how they're going out to dinners and like all their kids are with them, and it's like it's late, and I feel like here, like for the most part, a lot of parents I know here, like they don't do things after like 7, like because it's like it's bedtime, and granted, like we do have like a routine with her, but like we're pretty flexible with it when like certain things come up. But it was, like, nice to, like, be there, and you're like, okay, yeah, like, everyone's just, like, doing their life with their kid, and, like, some of the kids are, like, you know, they'll fall asleep in the stroller, or they'll, like, do whatever, but they're still, like, out doing it, and I'm like, cool, like, we're also out at dinner, and it's, like, yeah, there was some nights where she had, like, meltdowns, and I had to go, like, walk outside and, like, put her to sleep in the baby carrier, and then she, like, would pass out, and it would be fine, and, like, I'd, like, leave the dinner table for, like, 30 minutes or, like, whatever, and, like, that's, like, not as fun, but at the end of the day, it's, like, I'm still going out and, like, doing this dinner, and I'm getting to do it, even if it's, like, a little break to, like, calm her down in the middle, you know? So it's, like, it was nice to still do it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think, it's just, I feel like it seems like it's a lot about, like, your mindset and, like, willingness to kind of, like, do something that seems like it could be uncomfortable or out of the norm, and then just, like, kind of, you know, accept the extra challenge of having the baby along with you.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to just, like, be chill and flexible. Like, you can't be, like, high strung on vacation with a baby, because then it's, like, it's going to be horrible. And, like, things are going to be, like, it's going to be different from what you expected. But if you're just, like, willing to be flexible with your plan and kind of a little bit more go with the flow, then it's not that much harder.
Yeah. And you're just, like, you're setting her up for, like, a life of being, like, a traveler, which is really cool. Like, my best friend in college, her parents, like, took her places, like, her whole life, traveled with her like you guys are doing. That's and, cool. Like, she was, like, such a seasoned traveler by the time we met. And, like, so I feel like she really taught me how to travel.
Oh, really?
And, like, yeah, like, we, you know, went to Mexico together, just the two of us, and, like, flew into Mexico City, took a car to San Miguel de Allende, and, like, we spent, like, a whole week there, and, like, I was so nervous because it's not really a tourist town. I mean, there's, like, it's a little touristy, but, like, a lot of people don't speak English. And, like, I had to really, like, speak Spanish the whole time I was there. And, like, just being with someone who was comfortable, like, being, like, not in, like, a place that's set up for Americans. And, like, watching how they did it really helped me become more comfortable with doing that in other places. So she's the same person I went to Thailand with. And, like, Colin and I have since gone on trips together where, like, I feel like I've been able to, like, share some of what I've learned with him, and now we both like to travel together. And, like, I don't know, I just feel like that it's like not like a skill, but it's like something you kind of have to learn, and, like, she's gonna have that from such a young age, and it's gonna just, like, set her up to be, like, a traveler her whole life, you know, which is really cool.
No, that is a really good point. Also, it's like what you just said too about, like, the English thing, like, if you're, like, I feel like speaking English, like, if you're, like, American or whatever, like, you are already at such an advantage when you travel somewhere, because even the places you go where they don't really speak English, somebody will at least speak 5 words, 10 words, like, some amount of words where you can, like, pick up stuff. And it's like, I can't, like, when my grandma was, like, terrified to come because she doesn't speak, you know, she doesn't speak English. She does speak a little bit of Italian and, like, understands some Italian, but not, like, a ton. And she was, like, so nervous, and it ended up being fine. But, like, the day that she left, I basically took her, we got on the train, we took the train to the airport, and then I got her set up with, like, told her what gate she's going to, got all that figured out, and then I took the train back, met up with the rest of the group, and then we took the train down to the Amalfi Coast. And, like, that morning, like, I had never, like, navigated that train system before, but, like, I'm going there, I'm buying our tickets, I'm looking at the platform, we go down the train, we go to the airport, we, you know, whatever, and she's sitting there with me, she's like, how are you doing this? And I'm just like, well, Grandma, it's like, the signs are all in English. Like, it's like, there's all, you know, it's like, they're in Italian, but they're also in English, and it's like, I'm just kind of, like, picking it up as I go, and it's like,
you just figure it out.
You figure it out, and it's way easier if you speak English. So it's like, you really can go so many places way more confidently just by like knowing English. Like
100%. And like when you go somewhere where they don't speak it, if you just make a little bit of an effort to speak their language, like a lot of the time people will then start speaking to you in English and be really nice to you because you tried. And like
totally.
It's, yeah, I feel like just trying to immerse yourself in the culture and like be open to things not being the way you're used to, like really goes a long way.
Yes, 1,000%. And like that's the whole point of travel, is like to remove yourself from things that you're used to and like go experience things. And like I think that's why like that lemon tour was like so much fun, because I just felt like I was like in this family's like farm, you know, and like just seeing what their life was like and what their life has been like, and getting to eat their food. And you know, it's like I think that's why I appreciate the places in general that are like less touristy, because it's like you just do feel more immersed in like what they live like every day, which was kind of like the nice part about Rome too, because obviously yes, there's like a ton of tourists in Rome, but it's still like it's a bustling Italian city, you know, so it's like just being there and like watching these people live like their lives every day. I'm like, okay, this is like cool just to like experience it.
Totally, yeah, and like just immerse yourself in like a completely different way of life.
Yeah. And eat pasta every single day.
Ugh, the dream.
It was so good. I had the best pasta in my life.
Ugh, I bet. Yeah. I'm like, I want to go so bad.
Yeah. I literally ate pasta every single day, and I didn't feel bloated at all. I didn't feel like unwell at all.
That's incredible.
Great. Yeah. Yeah. But I am happy to be back.
I'm so glad you're back.
I really missed all of you. I was really excited to podcast again, and I mean, I love my job. So it's like, it's good to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back. The Posse's glad to have you.
Thanks. What was your 2 weeks like?
Not as interesting as yours. Okay. Let me start with that. Okay. So Posse, prepare to be let down. But we did go to the bridal show, which was so fun.
I love the bridal. I'm actually really sad I missed the bridal show.
Yeah, it was just like such a good time. We met so many brides and so many couples and so many other vendors, and I don't know. I realized that like one of the reasons I love going to these things is because like I feel like I'm kind of a shy person when I first meet people, and I know like clients don't think that, but it's because like meeting people under the umbrella of Naked Peach gives me like confidence that I don't have when I'm just myself.
Yes.
You know, like if I just walk into a party and I'm not like there as Naked Peach, you know, I'm just there as myself, like I will probably stick to the people I know and only talk to someone if I get introduced to them, just because I'm shy and like, you know, it's whatever. I'm fine with that. But if I am going somewhere and I know that I'm like the face of Naked Peach or one of the faces of Naked Peach, it allows me to feel more confident because I know that people like love what we do and they're excited to talk about it and they're excited to meet us. And like, I feel like it just allows me to be outgoing in a way that I'm not always comfortable being in like my personal life. And so I feel like I get to like meet all these people and it's always like really fun and they're always really excited about what we do. And I get to like, I met like a sex therapist. I met like all of these like really...
Wait, we need a sex therapist on the pod.
Oh yeah, it's in the works.
Okay, thank God.
All of these like, you know, other wedding planners, other photographers. I met this group of like women who do like tattoos and Botox and like all these different like beauty things. Ooh. And they work at a place called Portland Muse Collective. They were very like on brand with us. Like I was like at their booth going through all their stuff and I was like, who's your designer? Like I mean I love Jenna, but their stuff was just, looked a lot like the same vibe as ours. You know,
I
like
love that
fun 70s colorful, like it was just like so cool. And like they were all really sweet and I just like met so many fun people and it was a really good time. And I feel like it, you know, it's just always like that. And it's so fun to like do that and like connect with other people, like doing fun creative things where they, you know, are owning their own businesses and like doing a job that they love. And then to connect with like a bunch of potential clients. And like there were just a lot of people who came to our booth and they expressed like how grateful they were to see the inclusivity in like our photos that we have, in the albums that we show at the booth, in the pictures that we have on the like the walls at the booth. And there was one woman I spoke to who was like, I just don't feel like I have the body to do a shoot like this. And I was like, can I show you like this album? And I like started flipping through the pages and like showing her like all the different body types that we had in this book of photos. And she was like, wow, like this is really beautiful. Like, I feel like maybe I could do this. And it was just really cool to like see people like kind of changing their understanding of like what beauty can be like in front of my eyes. And like, there was one woman, I didn't see this happen, but Amanda told me that she had a similar conversation and she was showing this woman the album and there's a photo of one of our clients who wanted her C-section scar to be in her photos. And so like it wasn't edited out. And this is a photo where it's kind of like a close-up of the C-section scar. And it's like a really beautiful photo. And the woman started crying because she was like, that's what I look like. And like, this is like beautiful. And like, I feel like I'm seeing myself right now. And it was just like, it's just like so cool to be able to like have that experience over and over again with people who like, you know, we all struggle with like confidence and feeling beautiful in our bodies. And like, obviously we have this experience every day in the studio. And we know that like, just based on the responses we get on social media that like people love what they see. But like, it's so cool to like get to have that conversation with like 500 people in a day, you know? And like really see the impact that it can have when people start to like see that there's not just like one standard of what's beautiful and that they can do something like this and celebrate their bodies too. So that was really cool.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
I'm like really sad I wasn't there. That's amazing. Mm-hmm. It's so great too because like you said, it really is something that we just see every single day. So it's like it is fun to get to introduce other people to it. Yeah.
Well, we'll be back again in October, so don't you worry.
I can't wait. Brides, we're coming.
Yes. Okay, so I feel like the bridal show was like a big chunk of like my time while you were gone. I like, you know, just kind of took over.
Well, yeah, because it was like that first week basically that I was,
Yeah. However, one thing we discovered after the bridal show, we went to JoJo afterwards to eat, and I had not had the classic loaded JoJo's at JoJo before. I know we've gotten the loaded ones, but the classic ones have American cheese on them, which I know you probably would never even touch these, but for anybody who likes In-N-Out animal style, these JoJo's tasted exactly like In-N-Out animal style fries, which is like one of my favorite foods in the whole world. Yes, because it's like you have the potatoes of the JoJo's, then you have American cheese, and then you have the grilled onions. The only thing missing is like the little chopped pickles.
I love
and obviously the In-N-Out sauce. But they do have like a fry sauce that you can dip these in, and they also have ranch, which is really good. I became obsessed with this dish. I've had it twice since the bridal show because it's so good to me. I've had times where I've said to Colin, like, I want to go to In-N-Out for my birthday because I love animal style fries so much. Like, specifically the American cheese and the grilled onions. Like, it's just such a good combination. I've tried to make it at home. It's like, I don't think In-N-Out is that good. Like, I don't think their burgers plain are that good. I don't think their fries plain are that good. But I just love the American cheese and grilled onions together. And I found out that you can like recreate that same taste at JoJo without having to drive to fucking Salem and without having to support a shitty company like In-N-Out.
Okay, well, I want to try them now.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I'll go with you.
Okay, I would love to go.
It's my new favorite food.
Okay, perfect. I'm down to try it.
Yeah, so that was like a fun little discovery. Other things that I did, I mean, I feel like I worked a lot. But I did start working with Mary, our girl Mary Breuer. She's part of the Posse. She's been on the pod. And Mary is someone who like we were really obsessed with her when we met her. And when she stayed at my house, we just spent a lot of time like talking about everything. And I feel like we just like really connected and we've like stayed in touch since that time. And we'd like talk here and there. And she had mentioned when she was here with us in Portland that she was starting a coaching program and had like kind of brought it up with me. And I was like, yes, I want to just learn everything I can from you. And then like, you know, life got busy and we didn't really talk about it again. But recently we've started talking about it again. And I am now Mary's like guinea pig for her coaching program. So she's kind of like providing me coaching as she like learns this process. And we had our first meeting this last week and it was great. I mean, it was just really nice to like talk to someone where I could like share my goals and it didn't have to be like a work conversation or like a sobriety conversation, you know? Cause it's like, I talk about work goals all the time with you guys.
Yeah.
I talk about like sobriety all the time with my sponsor, but like, it was nice to just be able to be like, okay, like selfishly, I want to take a vacation, you know?
Yeah.
And, like someone who gets it. Cause they also like own a boudoir company and like, we just like talked about kind of like tangible steps that I can take to start moving towards like having more of the work-life balance that I want so that like I don't burn out. And one of the things that we talked about is that I have this really bad habit of waking up in the morning and just immediately getting on the computer. And like, I know everybody knows that like I will be sending Slack messages at like 6:30, 7 a.m. And it's because I will literally roll out of bed, make my coffee and get on the computer because I just feel this like intense pressure of like, there's so much to do. I need to just start working now. And it's like not healthy. It's like not good for me. I feel really chaotic when like 12 o'clock rolls around and I'm still in like the clothes I woke up in and like haven't like worked out or showered or brushed my teeth. Like it's just like not good. And so Mary and I talked about just like setting a routine of like getting up in the morning, making my coffee, going and sitting outside while it's nice out in like the garden surrounded by our roses, and doing like my morning like journaling and just like really like prioritizing that time, and then working out, getting ready, and like not starting work until I've done those things. And it's like I could have come up with that on my own, that's what I want to do, but just having someone to like kind of hold me accountable to it and like remind me, and who like I know I'm meeting with her again next week and she's going to ask me like how many days did you do it, like gives me a reason to do it besides just like, well, I know that it's good for me. And so I've been doing that since she and I had our first meeting.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah. It's been really nice. We also like talked about some affirmations and I like wrote them down and put them on my computer. And like one of the reminders that she gave me is that like I set the example for the team, and like if I'm not taking care of myself, I'm sending the message to everyone else like you should be overworking yourself and not taking care of yourself. And so like I need to take care of myself so that nobody else gets burnt out too, you know?
Yeah.
Which like, if you find it hard to prioritize yourself, that's like a way to kind of trick yourself into doing it. Cause then it's like, I'm still being of service to other people. Yeah. So that's been really nice. And like, there's so much that we talked about, and that's just like one kind of like little step we've been taking. But, it's just really nice to have someone who like I trust and who I know genuinely has like my best interests at heart, and understands like where I'm coming from. Yeah. Giving me kind of like actionable steps to like, get where I want to be.
I love that. I think that's amazing. And it's like, it's so cool because the photography world is like a lot more isolated than any industry I've worked in the past, or, like even in tech, there's so many like tech meetups and other people in tech, and just like, you're always talking to other people that are in your industry too. Whereas photographers are a little bit more just like solo, kind of like doing their own thing. So it's like, it's so cool too to have somebody that's, also in Boudoir, also building a team, just like very similar paths, but has been doing her Boudoir stuff for so long. And like, like even just like the simple thing of like, just do your morning routine, just do it. Yeah. And then, then get all your to-do list stuff done. Cause that's the thing. It's like our to-do lists are literally never going to end, and they always get, piled on. And it's like, you should have your morning and just do your simple thing and then get on with the rest of your day and like start chipping away.
Yeah. And it's like, if some days I don't get started until 10 a.m., that's fine, because I'm literally going to be working until 9 p.m. I'm going to be on my computer all day. So it's like, it doesn't really matter. Like, no. And like, nobody thinks I'm not working enough.
No, nobody thinks that. Like, so I know I've talked about like getting back into like working out, like post Sophia, and like recently trying to do a better job at it. And I'm still like, I have my weeks where it's like, I'm not getting to work out as much as I want to, and like whatever. But I like, it was right before vacation, and I'm like kind of trying to get back into it now. But like, I set this like new goal for myself where I was like I had a lot of I always had pressure before to like, okay, wake up and get your workout in, because whatever's going to happen is going to happen that day, and you're probably not going to get to work out later. And like, if I wait too late, I won't do it. But like, it's also really hard sometimes because like, if Sophia wakes up extra early or just like something happens, and it's like, then Gavin has his early meetings, and it can kind of get fucked up in the morning too. And so I set this thing for myself where I was like, okay, like, I'm going to have my goal of working out still, but like, it might happen in the morning. It might not, but like, even if it happens later in the day, like, I'll just take 30 minutes and like, just do it and like get it done at some point during my day. And then at one point I was like, wait, no, like, that's weird. Like, you can't like take 30 minutes in the middle of your day and work out. And then I'm like, sis who? Like, I like literally make my own schedule. And it's like, I'm not like missing a photo shoot to like, do my 30-minute work. But it's like that small stuff where once I like was like, oh, okay, I can just do this. And I'm like, wow, I feel so much better now. And it's like, but nobody's doing that to me but me. Like, I do it to myself,
Totally. Yeah. It's like, it's so weird. I wonder if it's like a residual pressure from like being in the corporate world of like, I have to be on Slack from this time to this time. Yes. And like, people need to see that I'm active. Because it's like, why do I think that anybody's going to care if I take an hour? But I have the same thing. Like, I feel like I can only work out in the morning. Yeah. I can't take an hour in the middle of the day because then people, what if someone needs me? Or like, it's just bad. Like, or what if I take more than an hour because I need to work out and then I need to eat lunch and then I need to shower and then it's an hour and a half and then the fucking world will end. Like, I know. It's like, who cares?
No, nobody cares. Yeah. And it's like I agree. Like, I have that same thing where I'm like, oh, like, if I'm not like on Slack, but it's like, but I'm also like, there might be, or there is a lot of times where it's like, I'm not necessarily on Slack, but I'm like editing a video on my phone for social, right? And it's like, I'm not on Slack, but it's like, I see a notification. So it's like even if someone needs me, I see it. Like, it's not like
we're literally working around the clock. Like, it's like it's this crazy like capitalist pressure that we put on ourselves of like, I'm only as valuable as like the amount that I can produce. And like, it's so easy to be like, I know that that's happening, but it's so hard to stop it when you're in it.
Yeah. Well, okay, but you're trying with your morning routine, which is good. I'm trying with being flexible with my workouts, which is also good. I also like, and I was telling you this, but when we were in Ischia, we were like sitting down having breakfast at the hotel, and there was this family that sat next to us from Germany that were also on vacation, and they had like one little girl that was a little bit older than Sophia, and then like a son that was a few years older than that. And we were chatting for a little bit, and they were like asking like where we were from, and like they're like, such a long trip, blah blah blah, how long are you here for? Like, hopefully for a month. And I was like, oh no, like just 2 weeks. And they're like, oh, like such a short holiday, just 2 weeks. And I'm like, man, dude, like this is the mentality I need to have, because I like 2 weeks, and like I have anxiety during my trips about like, I'm gone for 2 weeks. Like, the world's gonna end. Like, my job will be replaced. It's like all these
never.
Like, never. No, but it's like, but you know what I mean? But it's like, it's the corporate, like, I feel like that is also the corporate, like, capitalist, like, society we live in, where it's like, if you're taking more time off, that even like 2 weeks is a lot. But if you even think about taking like 2.5, 3, you're
like, you're selfish. You're disposable labor. Like, yeah, it's so crazy. Yeah, they have it figured out in Europe, and we do not.
Way more figured out. And like, they were going on a 2-week vacation, but it was like, this was like a short vacation, and they were still going to be taking some like longer vacation like later in the summer or something. And I'm like, this is so much better. Like, you're so like, I don't know, just like, it's not the same level of like burnt out. Like, they were also talking about, and I forgot what kind of timeline they were talking about, but something about like their maternity leave too, and like just the time off when they had their kids and stuff. And I was just like, it's so crazy how just vastly different things are. And it's like, obviously they still have very productive societies, right? Yeah. It's like, they're like, there's a lot of like commerce and business and everything else that goes on in Europe too. But it's like, they also just take time to rest and like prioritize their families, prioritize their health, prioritize other things in their life. And
it's like, work is not the only thing that matters there. And here, I feel like it is.
Yeah. And like that family, like we chatted a good amount, like over, while we were like sitting at, and I don't know what they do for work. I don't know anything about, it's like, we never even talked about work the whole time. Like, we just like talked about like their kids and like Germany and like just other, just like random stuff. And I'm like, when do you ever have a conversation in America where within the first 5 minutes you don't know what the person does for a living?
Never.
Right?
Literally never.
And it's stupid. Like, why can't we like do that more?
I don't know. I mean, it's like capitalism is it's so ingrained in everything we do. Yeah. And it's like, it's just really, really crazy.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So, we're both trying to unlearn that, which I love for us. And I feel like I could take a page out of your book of like trying to work out just when I can fit it in. Because I have the same mentality of like, if I don't get it done in the morning, I'm not gonna be able to do it, because every message I get and everything that comes up is gonna take over my day. And part of that is because I allow it to take over my day. Like, I'm like, well, I have to address this right now. Yeah. When in reality, like, a lot of things that come up, I can be like, I'll get back to you in an hour. I will deal with this in an hour. Like, there's nothing, like, we're not doing fucking heart surgery. Yeah. There's like very, very rarely that something comes up that needs to be dealt with immediately. Like, it's so rare. Yeah. Even like it needing to be dealt with within an hour is so rare. To be honest, it's like there's so many things that's like, oh, tomorrow, fine. Like, it's really like not urgent. It's like shoots, and then like image reveals are like the two most urgent things that we do, because it's like time blocked. Deadlines. But like, it's like, and it's not to say that we care deeply about our jobs and our clients and our team, but like, it's like, it shouldn't come at the expense of our own well-being, which I feel like it sometimes does.
Yeah. Well, okay, was it like the week before I left or something? You had that one pole class that you did in the middle of the day, one day. How did that go?
I mean, it was really nice. Like, I had a great time, and I loved it. I felt super guilty because it's like 30 minutes to drive to pole, hour and 15 in pole, 30 minutes to drive home, and then 30 minutes to like shower and eat afterwards. And I'm like, wow, the day's over. Like,
but like you still worked a full day that day.
Yes. And like, that's the thing is like this mentality of like the day's over at 5 p.m. is not real. Cause it's I'll stop and like eat, make dinner and like eat. And then I'll like get back on the computer and keep working until I go to bed most of the time. I know. It's like, I'm working with all my free time. So like these like arbitrary like rules are so fucking stupid. And I desperately want to unlearn them.
Okay. Well, we can help each other because I also want to, and I'll have days too where I I will go pick up Sophia from daycare at like 4 or something, and I'm like okay, I want to pick her up at 4 because usually she goes to bed around like 7:30, so I want like a couple hours with her before I put her down. And it's because like after I put her down, I'm usually like editing more or like, you know, doing some kind of social thing, like just doing more work at the end of the day for like a little bit. And it's like, but then as I'm leaving to pick her up at 4, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm letting down the team by like walking away from my desk right now. Yeah. Even though like I'm like I know in my core that I'm not, and I know it's like literally it's not impacting anything. I'm not like slacking on anything. It's like whatever, but it's like I like think that the whole time I'm like going over there to pick her up, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, why am I like this?
Yeah. God, we really need to like work on unlearning this because it's like. It's all this shit is so arbitrary.
Yeah. You know what we should do? We should like plan a week where like I'll like go through the week and I will like put in workout blocks, but I'm going to do it at like 2.
Yeah.
Like 11. Like I'm just going to do it like just random like dartboards on my calendar of like the most random times to like make myself like just do it for 1 week and realize the world is not going to fall apart.
Yeah, like nothing bad happened when you worked out at 2 p.m.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea. I think we both need to do that.
Yeah. And you definitely like go journal, go sit in your yard. Like it's like I think it's actually bad for your brain to wake up and immediately sit at the desk.
For sure. Like I'm probably killing brain cells by doing that. Yeah. It's like terrible.
It also probably like ultimately makes you like less productive too because you're not actually getting to like wake up. You're just like immediately throwing yourself into like the to-do list, you know?
And my brain's not even on. And it's like I know that I don't feel awake until I've worked out. Yeah. And like that's one of the reasons I like to work out in the morning. Mm-hmm. And it's just like so ultimately it's kind of like a selfish desire to like feel like okay, I'm doing something. Yeah. You know? And it's like I could be spinning my wheels because I'm not thinking fully yet. Like, and I'm like trying to like fire off emails and like edit photos and get things done. And like if I had taken that hour to myself, I might be a lot more productive even if I'm working less throughout the day. And it's just like I think it is a lot of it is probably just practicing it over and over until it becomes more of a habit.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah. And I feel the same way. Like I feel like I'm not awake until I work out or I'm like not like a lot of times if I do my morning workout, I'm like, oh, I feel so accomplished that then I feel more ready to like tackle other things because I'm like, oh, well, I already did that hard workout. Like I can do anything today. You know, it's like it's like a mental game. I think we have some great goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for us. Yeah. Also, like with summer coming, I feel like it really is important to like savor it because it's so fleeting in Portland, in Oregon, and it's so beautiful here. And I feel like, you know, the last 2 summers, I feel like we've both had the experience of feeling like it just flew by and like we didn't really like seize carpe the diem.
Yeah. Here's what we should do. One thing I hate, and I don't know if you relate to this, but like we have more flexible jobs in terms of like we do work weekends sometimes, like whatever. Yeah. A lot of our friends work 9 to 5s.
Yeah.
I want to go camping during the week when it's not busy. Would you like to go camping with me?
Yeah, for sure.
We should put that on our thing for the summer because it's like no one else can camp midweek, but I'm like, I don't want to go camp on like a Saturday when it's like so fucking packed, all these campsites and like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I feel exactly the same way.
Great.
And like going to the river or going to the lake. I would so much rather do it on a weekday than on a weekend when it's going to be packed. Same. So I feel like that we should prioritize that this summer.
Please. Also, it's really hard to edit photos during peak sunlight with
it's like... literally impossible. You have to I have literally put blankets over the window in the past because I'm like I need darkness and I can't get it.
Yeah. And I'm like I'd way rather be in the sun all day and then edit at night.
Yes. 100%. Okay,
perfect.
I do feel excited that we have some like trips planned together because I feel like it's easier for me to justify it in my mind because it's like sort of work-ish, but like really, like, I feel like when we go to LA for Taylor Swift, like, that's mostly going to be a vacation. You know, we're going to Taylor Swift, we're going to Disneyland. Like, yes, we're going to, like, podcast and probably shoot while we're there, but that's, like, one day of work. And then, like, you know, this trip to Oysterville, like, we're going to be shooting, but it's going to be, like, creative and, like, fun. And I feel like when we go to Utah, it can be kind of the same. So I'm really excited about, like, all of those trips that we're doing.
I am too. Well, and I think it's, like, being too, like, we are creatives at the end of the day. Like, photography is, like, very creative, and having things like that where you can actually focus on, like, just the it's like you're not, like, sitting there thinking about everything else that you're, like, working on, but it's like you're just doing, like, a creative trip or, like, getting to focus on, like, that. I think it makes us better at our job, because it's like when I'm super stressed out, I know I don't take the best photos, because it's like I'm not thinking about, like, the artistry. I'm thinking about, like, something else I need to get done.
Yeah, you know? And, like, just, like, checking it off the list. Yeah. And, like, I feel like doing the stuff that, like, fills our cup creatively, like, really makes everything, like, so much better.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, speaking of self-care, I also started watching the new season of Queer Eye.
Okay.
Which I just fucking love that show, and I love how much they talk about, like, self-care and how important it is to take care of yourself. And so, like, I feel like I watch it and I, like, learn tips from them, and I'm just, like, I love it so much. But I had this thought, and I was like, what if I tried to, like, okay, so Posse, one of my dreams for Naked Peach is for us to have a TV show on Netflix that's like Queer Eye. And I was thinking, like, okay, if we were, like, each of the characters on Queer Eye, who would we be? And I tried to come up with my list, and I want to see what you think.
I'm dying.
About which one I came up with. Okay, so I think if we were characters on Queer Eye, you would be Tan France for sure.
Wow, thank you.
I mean, you're, like, the chic one. You are the, like, you know, you are the one who's walking around with this air of, like, elegance.
Wow.
European refinement.
Don't
like
stop.
Tan.
Don't stop. Thank you. Can I have his accent too? Because I love
his accent is so beautiful.
Yeah.
I just love him.
Okay, I need to pause you for 1 second, because I just thought of this. One of the days that we were on the beach in Positano.
You saw Tan France.
No. I wish. I'm so sorry. No. Just because you were talking about elegance and whatever. We're on the beach, and I look over, and there's this couple that's on the beach with. It's like they're older, like maybe like let's say 50s, early 60s maybe, and they're with their teen, like maybe like 20-something daughter, and I think like her boyfriend or her partner or whatever. And this couple, the man looked like Stanley Tucci, but like ripped European, like just like this gorgeous ripped Stanley Tucci. And he's like in his 50s, and then his wife, who's also like. They just look like a fitness ad couple together. And I could not stop staring at this man. I was just like, usually I don't have like that silver fox attraction. And granted, like he's bald, Stanley Tucci, obviously. But like, I was just so in awe of what this, I was like gawking. I was ogling him for sure. Like, I could not stop staring at what was happening over there. And I was just like, this is like the dream. Like, yeah. So...
I want to be that couple.
I want to be that couple too. Yeah. I was like, damn.
That's why we have to work out in the middle of the day, so we can be like them.
Yes, right. Okay. Sorry, continue.
Okay. This is probably obvious. Amanda is Jonathan Van Ness.
1,000%.
She is the personality. She brings the character.
Yes.
She is the one who is making everyone laugh. She is the one stirring the drama, stirring the pot. We love it. She is JVN.
Yes.
And then, okay, I think that Angie is Karamo.
Okay.
Because she loves to give unsolicited advice.
She does.
And so she is like, she wants to hear your story, and then she wants to tell you, like, this is what I think you should do. And so I feel like that is very, like, Karamo coded of her. And then for myself, I was going back and forth between Bobby and Anthony.
Okay.
So Bobby, I feel like sort of is kind of like me, because he is doing all of this hard work in the background.
Yes.
Like, he obviously has the hardest job of all of them. He's remodeling a whole house in a week. And
everyone's chilling all week, and he's literally like unwell.
Yeah. He's like designing, remodeling, painting. Like, he is busting his ass.
Yes.
And then we get like a 30-second tour of the house when it's over. And I was like, okay, I feel like that speaks a little bit to like the business owner, like how much you're like busting your ass behind the scenes. Yeah. But I also feel like everybody knows I work hard. So I don't feel like it's quite the same as Bobby. And then I was like, well, Anthony is like, you know, everybody is like knows him for being kind of like, he doesn't really do much, but he's hot. And I like And I'm like, I feel like people really know me for my ass at Naked Beach. And so like maybe that is kind of like Antony. So I feel like I couldn't really decide if I was Bobby or Antony, but like one of those two is me, I think.
You could be both. Like you could be like a mixture of them, you know?
Yeah.
I love this. This is hilarious.
Thanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you know, just having lots of deep thoughts while you're gone.
I love this so
self-care
much.
in the team.
This is amazing.
I don't really have any other updates. I feel like I loved hearing about your Italy experience.
Thanks.
And like, I feel so inspired to like book my trip to Italy and also to feel less pressure to like do all the travel I want to do before I have a baby because like I will be able to do it afterwards too.
Yes.
So thank you for that.
Oh my God. No, I'm so happy. And my last tip, I will say that I did a lot of it. I know you already do this, but I watched a lot of TikToks on like, I would just like TikTok like a city or like whatever and just watch a bunch of the TikToks and it was super helpful and I got a lot of great tips. So
TikTok is the new Google.
Yeah. Everyone needs to be TikToking where they're going on vacation before they go on vacation.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I have a huge travel folder saved on TikTok. I probably need to start breaking it up by destination, but I feel like I get so many good travel tips and it's like, to me, so much more helpful than reading a blog.
Yes.
Because you can actually see what's happening in that place in their video. And like, it's not like a YouTube video where you have to sit through 20 minutes to like get through the good stuff. You know, it's like 1 to 3 minutes, which I really appreciate. So, you know, because we have tiny attention spans now.
Yes. Okay, let's go into our hot takes.
Let's do it.
So, okay, I wrote down a couple for you.
Okay.
Some of them were a little bit chopper related. What is your take on wearing like merch at the airport, but like the stuff that's like wifey or like right when you get married and you're wearing those like matching outfits?
I would say I'm against.
Yes.
I feel like okay, there are some exceptions. Like I have seen like Hex Studios is a designer that we found on TikTok.
Yes.
Who makes really cute merch for like bachelorette parties. And I think if it's like really well done and it's like designed in a cool way, like that can be fun. But like just generic from Target wifey, like to me it just feels wasteful because you're only going to wear it on that trip. And it's like, everybody knows that you guys are just married. You have your rings on. Like, you know, if you're on your honeymoon, like people know you have a vibe about you. Okay. Like you don't need to be wearing a wifey branded hat and purse and shirt. And like, if you do, I mean, and it makes you happy, like good for you. Like, I'm not going to hate on you, but I just feel like if you're like feeling like, oh, do I need this stuff for my honeymoon? Like, no, you fucking don't. It's like, you're going to wear it one time and throw it away. Like buy a cute outfit instead. Yeah. Like when we went on our trip where we got engaged to Antigua, there were a lot of people on their honeymoon because like a lot of people from Florida honeymoon in Antigua because it's really close. And there were a lot of people with the wifey merch and I was like, you guys all look the same. Like
it's very true. When you're honeymooning in a very honeymoony location wearing that merch, expect to see a lot of other people wearing it too.
Yeah, and it's just like, why? Like I don't know.
Fair.
Yeah, that's my opinion on it.
I love that. What about Speedos?
Speedos? I mean, I honestly feel like I can't recall a time I've seen a Speedo in real life.
Really?
Yeah. I guess I haven't been to a beach in Europe. Okay. So I've only been to like city destinations.
Yeah.
I feel like I could probably get behind it if it was done well.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm here for a Speedo.
Yeah.
Like, let's just all be sluttier at the beach.
Yeah.
Like,
I love that. I mean, I love short shorts on a man. Yeah. So I probably love a Speedo too. I want to see those meaty thighs, you know?
No,
Show me your quads.
And honestly, I think there's something like really like empowering too about like even when you see like the old men wearing Speedos, I'm like, get it. Yeah. Like, live your best life at the beach.
Yes. Just because you're getting older does not mean you have to stop being sexy or enjoying your body or enjoying fun in the sun, baby.
Speaking of which, and I took a video of this, we can post it. At one of the beaches I was on in Ischia, there were this like older couple vacationing and like he was taking a bunch of beach photos of her. And I was like, this is all men take notes right now. Cause like he kept like doing them and he was like, asking her like about it and like doing different angles. And I was just like, yes.
Goals.
Yes,
couple goals. Yes. Yeah. Speaking of, I've had 2 clients in the last 2 weeks who were 50 and older. And it's been so nice. Like, I just love shooting older clients and getting to like, it's just so funny because like these women were both fucking hot and they both like, one of them is a sex worker, so like she's coming at it from like a slightly different perspective because she's kind of used to seeing like photos of herself. The other one is just like a regular gal, and I feel like it's just so cool to like have someone come in and be like, oh, I'm just like, I'm old and I don't feel sexy anymore, blah, blah, blah. And then to show them like, no, bitch, you're still fucking hot. And like, it's just such a fun thing. So more clients in their 50s.
Please.
Please. We love it.
Yes. What about this Taylor Swift drama with her boyfriend?
Oh my God, dude, I'm like embarrassed to be a Swiftie right now.
Right?
I feel like it's so like, I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? Like I like wasn't really in it for a while. And then like when her collab with Ice Spice came out, I started getting TikToks of people like explaining what was going on. And I was like really grossed out. Like it felt really yucky. Like, so for those who don't know, like Taylor Swift is dating Matty Healy allegedly. And, Matty Healy is the singer for the 1975, and like he has this whole internet persona where he's like kind of like a troll. Like he likes to do really shocking things, and like it sounds like he's like pretty like his beliefs are like fairly liberal, but he will kind of do some like alt-right-y sort of things for attention, which I think is weird. That's like a very internet guy thing to do, but I don't love it.
Yeah.
And he went on some podcast where they like talk shit about Ice Spice and like called her chubby and like just like so why bad. Like she probably doesn't even know who you are. And then like and then Taylor, like all this news comes out, and then a couple days later Ice Spice is like featured on like the remix of Karma, and it just feels very like she's kind of like trying to be like, look, I'm friends with a black girl, and like it's just like I don't know, the vibe is off and it feels weird, and I'm just like, I wish that she just like wouldn't date this guy. And like
also it's like Taylor Swift, like, are you actually dating him? Like like I don't believe this is a real relationship personally.
We know you're gay.
Yeah, like we know you're not dating him. And so it's like go pick beards that are like just not this problematic. Like
like there's so many unproblematic.
Go get Joe back. Like Joe was doing nothing. Like he was just chilling in the background. Like you could have milked that forever.
Like I don't get it. I saw a TikTok from one of a TikToker I follow who does like really good celebrity commentary, and like she does a lot of like reviewing people's outfits. I can't remember her name, so I'm gonna have to find it. But she's so funny and like very insightful. And she was saying like her thought before all of this happened with Matty Healy was she thought that like the best thing that Taylor could do is do a remix of Karma with Meg Thee Stallion on it, because it's way more aligned with what has actually happened in Meg's life, and like would make sense for her to be on that song, and would be like a good kind of comeback moment for Meg. And then Taylor could donate the profits from the music video or the remix or whatever to like a charity that supports like domestic violence, or like a charity that specifically focuses on women of color who've experienced domestic violence or something like that. Because like this TikToker was saying, like Taylor's Achilles heel is her white feminism, and it's 100% true. Like she is like, she claims to be for the girls, but really she's like for herself. And like I am a huge fan, and I can say that, and I like, you can believe both things, you know? Like
totally. I mean, she is a huge business. Like she is a corporation. Like
exactly. She is a brand. And I just feel like that would have been such a better move for her than to do this weird thing with I don't know. It's just like it feels icky to me, and I'm embarrassed for her right now. Embarrassed of her.
I know. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are those all your hot takes?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is not quite a hot take, but just inspired by what I said about Queer Eye.
Yes.
If we were characters from Succession, who do you think we would be?
Oh my God, I haven't seen Succession.
Wait, you've never watched it? I thought you had watched the first season.
Gavin has watched all of it. He's like all caught up. I haven't seen it yet.
Like none of it?
None of it.
Oh my God, Anna!
I know. I'm so sorry.
It's like the best show that I feel like I've seen in years.
Really?
Yes, it's so good.
Okay, I'm gonna start with. I'll start it this week.
Season 1, I will say, it's like a little slow for the first few episodes, but once you get into it, like it's so just the corporate drama is so crazy, and it's very funny. Like the characters are very funny and like cringe funny.
Is it kind of like Arrested Development?
Yes, it's a lot like Arrested Development.
I love Arrested Development.
Yeah, I think you would really like it.
Okay.
I need you to watch it, and then I need you to tell me. I have a theory that you and I are two of the characters on the show. I want to know if you agree with me when you watch it.
Okay. I will watch it, and then in a couple episodes we can catch up, and I will tell you who I think from the team is each person from Succession. Okay. Awesome.
Okay, next one. Rihanna's toe ring.
I literally had that on mine too, and I was just like, I've asked you enough. Honestly, like, fucking Rihanna, just good for you. Like, just go live your best life. Like, the fact that toe ring is better than like any engagement ring I've probably ever seen in person. Incredible. Like
iconic.
Yeah. I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can do no wrong.
No.
Okay, something I saw on TikTok recently, had never heard of this before. Eating while masturbating.
Stop. Stop. No.
Yes, this is a thing. People are out here doing it.
Like a full meal, like a smoothie.
Okay, the TikTok I saw was sort of like she was encouraging you to explore different levels of like, you know, try taking a bite out of a juicy peach or like a strawberry or watermelon, something that's gonna like drip down your face while masturbating. And I'm like, okay, I can sort of see the appeal of that.
Yes.
It does feel a little unclean to me.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's a little sticky. It's a little like maybe I'm in the shower. Like
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think that's for me. Like
okay, that's what I thought.
I'm not here to like yuck someone's yum. Like if people are gonna try that, like that's fine. Yeah, I don't know. I think it might also like kind of maybe like take me out of the mood a little bit. Like I guess like yes, I could see how that could be hot, but also like then I might be like focusing on eating instead of like focusing on like the sensation, you know?
Yeah.
So
I feel like they're different pleasures for me.
Yeah.
You know, like I love food and I love having orgasms, but I don't know if I want to combine them.
Same.
But I know people like it, so I don't know.
Interesting.
I might try it just to see.
Yeah, well, keep us posted. Let the posse know.
Okay, this is something chickpea pasta. What are your thoughts?
I feel like I've had it a couple times and it's fine. Like
Yeah.
it's not real pasta. Like it doesn't it definitely tastes different, but I'm also like not like, oh my god, this is disgusting. I'm not going to eat this. Like cuz I think Gavin falls more into that category where it's like anytime I get any kind of alternative pasta, he's like so annoyed with me for buying it. And I'm like, it's fine. Like it's not like like it's not pasta, but it's fine.
Yeah. I would agree. I got a lot of hate from the team the other day. Well, Colin got a lot of hate from the team at the bridal show when he confessed to them that he regularly eats chickpea pasta with veggies and chicken, just no sauce.
Wait, no sauce?
Yeah, it's like psychotic. It's like his gym,
that's
thing
weird.
Of like,
at least put some olive oil on it.
I know.
You know?
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
At the bare minimum, because that just sounds like a choking hazard, to be honest. Like, that's a lot of, like...
It's very dry.
Yeah.
I don't know what his deal is, but they were very disturbed by the chickpea pasta specifically.
Okay.
And so I was like, is this weird to be eating this? Because we do make it all the time.
Yeah.
And I know it's not real pasta, but...
I don't think it's weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks
I'm
for
fine with
validating me.
Okay.
Okay, those are all my hot takes for you.
Wait, I had one more hot take that I might just need to show you the photo of it, though. Alex Earl was wearing this dress the other day that, and like we know low rise is coming back, right? But this was like low rise, like with an extra low cutout as part of the low rise. And I just need your opinion on this.
Okay.
And obviously it looks great on her. I mean, she's Alex Earl, but.
I mean, it's super cute on her.
Yeah.
It looks great on her. So my problem with low rise coming back is that I do feel like it's very hard to feel comfortable in anything low rise if you don't have a flat stomach. And like the whole trend is like kind of designed to show off your stomach. And if you don't feel like you have a stomach that is something you want to show off, it makes you feel bad. And so like I kind of hate that it's coming back for that reason.
Yeah.
But like it looks good on her.
Yeah,
you know?
like I obviously I think she looks good in this. Like I'm not hating on this outfit at all, but I'm just like I just feel like this as a style should not be coming back into style.
And it's like just doing what we do. We have a questionnaire that every client fills out before their shoot, and one of the things it asks, is there anything you want to minimize or conceal?
Yeah.
99.9% of our clients say my stomach.
Yeah.
Nobody is confident about their stomach. Like it's so rare that people are like, yeah, I want to flaunt my stomach. And so then to like feel like to be fashionable, you have to do it. It just sucks because I feel like there's so many people who do not feel like they can do that, or maybe they're doing it and they're not feeling confident. And it's just like, I don't know. As I have a hard time not following trends because I want to be cool and like I like trying new stuff, and like I don't want to be wearing the same clothes forever. And so I do have some stuff that's like lower rise, and like I feel like my body type, I do have a flatter stomach relative to the rest of my body. I still don't feel super confident in it. And like, I would prefer the like high rise would just be the thing that we could all keep wearing.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm participating in it and perpetuating it by wearing the stuff, because then people see me wearing it and they're like, it may encourage someone, not that I have that much power, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So I guess we all need to kind of collectively opt out if we want to like not have this be a trend.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really not into low rise returning. I'm just like not, I don't know. It's something too where it's like I see a lot of low rise like and obviously it's like anything can be done well, especially if it's like well styled or like whatever. But a lot of times too, it's like I don't like it as it's like if I see the same thing but a high rise version, I just like it more. Like I think it looks better. Yeah.
I feel like it's more flattering on more bodies.
Yeah.
I mean, flattering is like a whole thing. But
I know.
I feel like it makes more people feel confident, and then you can see the confidence. And it just, I just think it looks better. Like I feel like low rise it's a trend right now, and it's going to be the same as it was before, where we're going to look back on it and be like, why were we all doing that?
Yeah.
Like, why were we all showing off our lower stomachs?
Yeah. And then it's going to go away again, and high rise will be back. Yeah.
Yeah. This is making me think more about like, I've been feeling like, do I need to get something more low rise? Like, do I need to do this to like be fashionable? Mm-hmm. And like, maybe I need to just like continue with my like high rise stuff that I like.
Yeah. I haven't been buying anything low rise, so I will be like, I guess, unfashionable with high rise with you.
Yeah.
Need to be
unfashionable, confident, and comfortable.
I mean, I think confidence is the most sexy, right?
For
so
sure.
It's like, let's all just be hella confident.
Yeah, I love that.
Great. Perfect. Okay, what's your obsession this week?
Okay, so my obsession this week is buying perfume samples from these two websites, Twisted Lily and Lucky Scent. You can buy samples of perfume for like $4 to $6. And I, Posse, everybody knows I'm on a budget. I talk about it nonstop. And I love perfume. I love trying new perfumes. And what I used to do back in the day was I would go to Sephora, smell perfumes, and when I found one that I liked, I would ask them to make me a sample. And they used to do that where you could just get unlimited samples. So I would have like tons of them. And I would just like switch it up every day depending on like what I was vibing with that day. They don't do that anymore. They stopped doing it during COVID, and like I'm sure they save a lot of money now because they're giving away a lot of free perfume.
Yeah.
But I found, from a TikToker, of course, I found these two websites where you can order samples, and so I've been doing that, and it's just really nice to have a lot of options and to like try things, and it makes me feel so bougie to have like a really expensive perfume on that I paid $4 for.
I love that.
And then, it's like probably if you do it forever, there's going to be some cost benefit where like you should just buy the full bottle, but like I'm not there yet, so it's fine.
Well, and it's nice when you're trying to try different ones too, though.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't want to commit to one yet. You want to figure out which one you like love.
Exactly. Yeah.
Amazing.
And I definitely I switch up my perfume all the time. I did for like, I'll go like on streaks of like one that I'm like, this is my scent for now, but I'd like to switch it up. And so the ones that I've got that I have really liked there's a brand called Wilhelm, and they have one named Moon Carnival that is like, just like a really pretty, like floral, like it's a great, like everyday scent. And then there's a brand called Mancera that makes a lot of perfumes that are just like 2 notes. So the one that I am wearing today is called Vanilla Rose, and it's like literally just rose and vanilla, and it smells so good. And like, for me, it's like the perfect combination of like sweet kind of like food scent with a little bit of floral in it. They have a bunch of other vanillas too that I want to try because I love anything that's like vanilla scented, but like feels a little bit more adult, like not quite warm vanilla sugar,
Yes.
There's another one. There's a brand called Ellis, and they have one that's vanilla milk, and it's literally like milk and vanilla. It makes you smell like vanilla ice cream.
It sounds like a cookie.
It's so good. I ran out of that one immediately. That was the one I used up first. But I have a couple coming. One is also from the brand Wilhelm, and the scent is Mango Skin.
Oh my God.
And it's literally just mango. And I'm like really excited to try these because I feel like I'm making them sound very simple, but because these are like fancy perfume brands, they all are like complex, like adult feeling scents. They don't feel like, just like a body spray that is cheap.
It's not Victoria's Secret.
Yeah. But like it still plays into like the person in me who wore Love Spell back in the day.
Yes. Would bathe in Love Spell basically.
Yes, exactly. So I'm really excited about this Mango Skin one. And then there's another one I got called Gossip Night by Gaudy that is supposed to be peach and strawberry and caramel. And I'm very excited to smell that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on this website and get some of these. This sounds
should.
Incredible.
It's so cheap that it's like you can literally get like 10 of them and like still spend less than $50. Like it's amazing.
I love that. Well, and I'm also very like, I love perfumes, but I'm also really adverse to buying new ones because of this reason. Like I'm always so scared to buy a full bottle and not like it.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to like also to be able to like wear it on yourself for a few days because it's like it does change when it's on your body and
Totally.
it smells different throughout the day. So like sometimes I might like it in the store, but then I take it home and I'm like, ew, like I actually don't like this.
Yeah. Or like you realize like a certain kind like doesn't have good staying power and you can't smell it by the end of the day. And like that's for me like a really big thing. Like if I can't like smell it at all on myself, like I don't want to wear it because I want to enjoy it too. It's not just for other people. Like totally. I want to smell myself.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So that's my obsession.
Amazing. Okay. Well, thank you. You've influenced me. It worked. Okay. My obsession, I've talked about this before. Anyone that's traveling with a baby needs to get a Duna stroller to do this with. It turns into a car seat. It's a stroller. Like she's kind of growing out of it. So I think this may have been our last trip where we actually use it, but like well worth the investment. They are very expensive. You can get used ones though. If you look, we'll probably be selling ours at some point. But like just makes traveling with a baby so easy. Granted, it was a little bit harder where we were going, so there's a lot of stairs, but like the places we were where there weren't stairs, we used it all the time. And it's so easy to fly with. You can gate check it, so you can just like, we would even like put a bunch of our bags on it, and then I would wear her in the baby carrier through the airport, and then it's like all the bags are just on the stroller, so you're just pushing it.
Oh, that's so nice.
So nice. And then you gate check it. It's just so simple. And if you ever have like big bulky sweaters that you're traveling with, you don't want to pack them, you just throw it in the gate check bag, and then no one's checking the gate check bag. So you can throw whatever you want in there if you want to pack more.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's the best.
Is this the same one that you made the TikTok of where people were so concerned about her rattling on the cobblestones?
Yes. Yes, same one. Yeah. And she loves the cobblestones. It's her favorite way to nap is in that Duna stroller at the cobblestones.
It's so funny.
Yeah. But everyone needs that. But then also like have a baby carrier for sure if you're going through other places, because being able to switch between the two I feel like is key to traveling with a baby. So those are my two travel baby tips.
Yeah.
Okay, so Posse, thanks for staying with us this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. You can find us at Naked Peach Boudoir at nakedpeachboudoir.com. All the socials are at Naked Peach Boudoir, peach.posse on Instagram, Peach Posse on TikTok.
Yes.
You can find me at Anna McLaughlin Photo.
You can find me at T Smells with a Z at the end.
And we will see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.